Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review, we are looking at the DC Multiverse Justice League version of Batman. And I have to say, I'm very, very pleased, and I was very surprised with this figure. I thought we were going to get another slightly modified version of that other Batman figure that we got from BvS, and that figure was not very good. It had a lot of problems. While this guy is seemingly based on the same figure and technically has the same problems, they more than made up for it with the sculpt and the paint, and that actually does hide a lot of the issues. So that's a good thing. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 17.5 centimeters to the top of his ear tips, which makes him closer to 6 3/4 inches, right around there. And I want to point out, I do have the brightness, it's not actually the brightness, but whatever, I have the video brighter than normal so that you can see the details on the dark spots, so hopefully it's not washing out too much. I think it should be good, fingers crossed. So this guy, covered in paint. I'm very, very pleased with that. We have the darker gray, which is the general base suit. Then we have black and we have silver, and it's just mixed throughout very nicely. Look at the torso. You can see we have the black straps with the gray parts, with the silver parts, with more black on top. Very, very nicely done. And then, of course, the entire thing is covered in texture. The main suit, and then you have the different texture for the bat logo, and then the silver part has different texture, and then some parts don't have texture. Very pleased with it. It looks so nice. So I was not expecting these guys to be painted well or sculpted well, and they are. So it does make up, at least to some extent, for the less than ideal articulation. And this guy it's cloth on this side. It's like a generally normal looking cloth. It has the little scallops on the bottom, so that's cool. And then on the back side, it's got like a vinyl-y finish, which makes it look like it's his heavy-duty cape from the movie. So I do really like that. It's not going to hang properly because it's small-scale vinyl-y material, but it does look really, really good. And then, while the face doesn't have any real shading or anything, I think the likeness is probably good enough. And the goggles just look really good. They did a great job painting those silver spots and then the silver rims around them. Very, very pleased with it. As far as the articulation goes, it's not the best, as we've seen before. The head doesn't really want to look up and down all that much. You can get it to look up a little bit, but that's about it. So you're really just going to get the rotation, which is fine, I guess. You can kind of lean it, so that'll help. You'll be able to get a little bit of a better pose in some cases, so that's kind of cool. Shoulders work no problem. You get better than horizontal, so that's really good. They're very stiff. Full rotation. You do have a bicep swivel up there, and then you have a single jointed elbow, which doesn't even give you 90 degrees, so definitely limited there. It will swivel if you want it to. Don't really know what that's going to be useful for, but it will swivel, and then you have a wrist swivel as well. And just like the other figure, you have an ab crunch, but it's very, very minimal, and it doesn't even have as much sculpt work in there because it would have been too much detail, I'm guessing, and it doesn't move that much, but that's it. Just a little tiny bit of ab crunch, so I would probably just leave it pretty much in a neutral pose like that. Waist twist is fine, though. Oh, I just realized these have kind of like a bronzish color. His belt has a tiniest hint of that yellow Batman belt, so that's kind of cool. Hips are DCUC style hips, so that's definitely not ideal, but you get pretty good range going forward, so that's okay. And then obviously really good range going out to the side, but it's not the best looking situation. Thigh swivels are in there. They are slightly angled, so that's not great. And then the knees are single jointed knees, which don't quite go 90. The armor does hide it pretty well, so that's good. The legs are still sculpted crooked. So you can see it's coming down straight here, and then the foot comes off to the side. Definitely not ideal. Luckily, the armor does hide that for the most part, so if you pose him, it's not going to stand out too much. And then the ankles, they don't go very far back at all, and they do go pretty far forward. And then there's a little bit of that bronzish, goldish color on the tips of the boots. So, I mean, it's definitely not the best figure in the world, but that is a badass looking Batman suit, and they did a pretty damn good job getting that sculpt and paint on there. So on the shelf, even though you won't be able to pose it very well, it's definitely going to look really, really cool, especially up against the other Justice League figures. So, I mean, it's like I've said for all of these figures, if you want the sculpt and the aesthetic and the paint, then go ahead and grab them. You're going to be happy. If you really want the articulation, they're definitely not going to be able to work for you. So it's up to you to decide what you want. So there it is, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every single day. We talk about action figures, movies, TV shows, video games, all kinds of fun stuff. So make sure you come back for that. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. And in the meantime, keep collecting.